deep in the woods, where humans in towns nearby dare not go. Hunters don't venture this far into the woods because there are things out here that aren't quite of nature as humans would understand, as this is the realm of the Fae. These forests, governed by two subsets of these Fae creatures, the light-fay and the dark-fay, each in possession of an orb. These two orbs keep this world in balance. In the Shadevale, the home of the dark fae, where hags and pixies and various other less safe creatures that would be bedtime stories to keep children to being good, we find this gnarled old mushroom in the center of this strange town of large mushrooms, mostly large mushrooms, and some of these petrified trees, with this orb of shadows sitting in the center. In this Shadevale, we look up towards the mountains that ring this entire place, under this shadow of dark clouds that never fully go away, protecting this place from the light of the sun. The sun never reaches the bottom of this valley. In a cave just as hidden from the sun, we find a large figure among these wicker charms hanging from the ceiling, this almost slime-like cavern that has this icky membrane and mud tracked in along, bones piled up on tables, and various fetid fabrics that have been covered in filth and just not cleaned. Who do we find in here? If you'd like to introduce your character, Void.
So, Nannie Dollcroaker, she stands at 8 foot tall, a purple-skinned hag, grotesque iron claws stretch from her unusually large hands. Tattered cloth and fur drapes her body, seemingly ripped from her victims.
As you live in this cave, what would you be doing here?
I think she would just kind of be moving about. Maybe there's some skeletons laying that she's taking the bones of, seeing what she can do with them. Potentially a body freshly killed that she's preparing to eat right now. And as she moves, she's like, ugh, just kind of groaning and moaning and making strange noises.
As this horrifying figure moves about in this cavern, as you're moving around, kind of preparing various tools and implements, you would glance outside for just a moment as something catches your eye that is unusual. Light in this little valley. A place where this light never touches, down in this valley, all the way at the bottom of the Shadevale among these large mushrooms and withered trees.
She's gonna, kind of drag her feet as she walks towards the entrance of the cave, looking down. Very kind of peculiar. And she's gonna start heading towards it, I think. Maybe with a bit of hesitation almost. But she thinks maybe there's something there she can lure into the darkness.
As this Annis hag begins to lumber down the mountain, and this light grows brighter in the distance, the die is cast, and welcome to Spell Check. Hi everyone, and welcome to Spell Check. Typically we do our main campaign here But for right now, we are doing a little mini campaign that'll just be this episode and one other for Fae Week. Fae Week is a event put on by Pointy Hat and Ginny D, two fairly well-known creators in the content creator space for D&D, and is part of the yearly event Monster Week. This theme is Fae, and for that we are doing this little mini story as our three dark fae are going to grapple with various affairs of the otherworldly and fairy tale creatures in these woods. And as we pick up with a different character, we find ourselves a little bit earlier, actually, than where we picked up with our Annis Hag character in the mountains. We find a dark elf in the streets proper of the Shadevale. Jynx, what would your character be doing as you leave this kind of strange underground hollow where you've just been working to defend the freedom and life of a small gnomish man who you know as Sylvester the Sock Stealer, who was on trial for, well, you can probably guess what he was on trial for, and well, he got caught. And unfortunately, a couple humans didn't make it out of that because there was a little scuffle with some, it was a whole thing. But unfortunately, there's a few less human children, and he still got away with his socks he just stole.
Yasa, look, you can see here the formal outerwear he has, with the cape representing all of the injustice in the world that he wants. The red dots on his face also represent that. Yasa just came out of the courtroom victorious. Well, when hasn't he? You can see the formal outerwear he has, representing the status he has. As a follower of the law and order in this verse, he defends the people who he deems have been unjustly persecuted. He just recently decided to defend the sock stealer, or alleged sock stealer. But it turns out the dwarf was innocent. Yasa would obviously be very tired, but when hasn't he been very tired? It's a dark fey world, everything is dark, everything goes wrong, everything just looks like sadness in here. He would just walk about the town searching for a place to eat. He would also be very, very looking forward to get some rest. He hasn't got it since this case has been opened.
As you begin to look for somewhere to go get some food after this trial, you hear the pitter-patter of little gnomish feet behind you as this little gnome, big beard that like leaves only his nose, like kind of button nose sticking out from under this hat, except instead of the classic gnomish cone hat, this guy has just a big red sock put over the top of his head that just kind of like slumps back behind him. It looks like everything he wears is sewn together socks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be able to go back to stealing socks for my family now. Thank you so much.
And he's going to hand you a sock.
He would grab it, hold it in like 3 fingers, and he would put on a fake smile and say, "Thank you very much, sir," as he puts it behind his back, but quietly drops it. He would, after drop it, just shake off the dirt he had on that sock.
as this little like gnome just kind of almost just pitter-patters away across like this kind of muddy road, you can see he returns to a small carriage being pulled by just a big toad that you can see it just has a trunk full of socks in it. They don't seem to be anything of at least none of them seem to be a pair of socks. it seems like almost the artistry behind this is that no two are the same. He's just been taking single socks from pairs of socks from people. And you can see as this large toad leaps forward, this cart lurches forward with it as he repeats that process, getting tossed around in the driver's seat as it begins to just rattle down the road. And as you watch this person just leave town and can start looking for something to eat, you can see there's like some various stands serving things like bug skewers, which are essentially just skewers with a bunch of fried beetles on them, or various other street food in this town. You need to make a con save.
Alright, the con save.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can't find my dice share. Alright. 8?
You're not quite. So pretty much, you are now blinded, as there is a bright flash of light in the center of town, and everything goes white. Your eyes are not accustomed to this this brightness of the day. I mean, these people in this area live under cover of darkness, or are merchants that come from out of this this Shadevale. And as this light illuminates the center of town, in front of this large withered mushroom, we are going to cut to our final character. Deep in the woods, or actually not so deep right now, returning from deep in the woods, we find Lumi's character, if you'd like to describe it, Lumi.
Okay. Bryn Harlow, a satyr often found wandering the woods, hunting or collecting anything potentially medicinal for their sister. They're often carrying their hand-carved bow, sometimes followed by a shadowed creature at their heel.
As you and your familiar move through the woods, about at the same time as Yasa has just experienced this, though you wouldn't really know exactly what's going on, you look through the woods and suddenly there is a bright light. It is not one that's like a flash, it remains, as it seems as if there has been a pillar of light descending through the clouds that forever veil this valley. What would Bryn do in this moment, seeing this in the distance?
They would probably pick up the pace and start running back to check on their family.
You can see, as you get closer, as your satyr hooves bound along through this forest, along rocks and over logs, with this familiar following you, which I will let you describe whenever you decide to, whenever it's relevant. I won't take that away. You would see that this pillar of light is accompanied by a variety of people standing in town. You can see there are dark fae fleeing and running in every direction. Many are blinded and don't know what's going on yet. You can just see them covering their eyes. And in this center of the light, you hear a voice.
All right, sweetie. Grab the orb, let's get out of here.
And you see the most terrifying figure you've probably ever seen. This small, about 2 foot tall, gnomish woman with bright pink hair that's starting to gray, which lets you know that this is her natural hair color, is bright pink. She has rosy cheeks and seems to be an elderly kind of grandma with a sweater over the top of kind of like a tunic. A little waist apron with some pockets. These little kind of brown, slightly reddish shoes that kind of curl up at the very end. And is using a large candy cane as an actual cane. this woman appears. You can see someone imposing standing next to her. A human. Not really allowed in these woods. This kind of maybe like mid-20s man wearing colonial attire, just kind of like a rough pilgrim looking outfit, and is wielding some kind of staff or wand made of wood and metal. And there are a number of fairies and satyrs, sprites, dryads that are actively murdering anyone they find. As you can watch as a fairy, this fairy is about like, since we're differentiating fairies and sprites, fairies are a little bit bigger. They're maybe like a foot or two tall, and you can see one with just a big needle is just like, has someone on the ground and is just jabbing this needle in their eyes over and over and over. There's satyrs just trampling people, like goring people with their horns. It is extremely violent to see all of these, nice and pink and pastel, almost like Easter colors, a lot of blues and pinks and a lot of greens, especially a lot of greens. And they are just murdering people in the center of town. And you would watch as Yasa, around this same time, you're a little bit further away from this scene, so you're not immediately getting attacked. But as you can kind of start adjusting to the light, you would see this human point this staff or whatever this strange implement it has is. Doesn't look like anything that threatening. Maybe they can cast magic or something. Maybe this is a witch. As a red cap, which is essentially a type of gnome with this kind of red pointy cap and these like sickles and iron boots, tries to stand up against this human, as there's a loud flash and they are blasted back and instantly killed with a shotgun. You see the red cat's skins almost like boil and burn as it smokes and steams. And if one of you, or both of you actually, if you would like, could give me a Arcana check.
Both of us, huh?
Yeah, you guys can both make it separately if you want. I'll just tell you if you want. You get to
6.
How can I see this?
because the blindness was worn off.
Do I still make it?
Yeah, you can still make it.
Okay. Do you want me to take it? Lumi?
Yes.
I thought we were
You guys
both
can
rolling,
both make
but
it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like one takes you on this. Alright. 23.
23. With a 23, you would know Fae, such as yourself, are very vulnerable specifically to iron weaponry. Fae are repelled by very pure iron implements. Whatever this person is wielding, it doesn't quite make sense. I mean, you likely have never seen a proper firearm in action. But as this human fires a shotgun, whatever buckshot was in it is iron, as it boils and bubbles away at the skin of this red cap as they fall to the ground dead almost instantly. And
was that the sock stealer?
no, luckily no.
Okay.
The sock
Okay,
stealer
phew.
has been able to make it to the edge of town by now. The sock stealer is one of the furthest people away now. He can escape safely, luckily. As this all happens, I would say with being very adept at navigating these mountains, Dollcroaker, if you would like to get down to the edge of town, you would be able to start seeing what's going on. Would any of the three of you like to try and do anything about this situation? There are about 20 enemies, and one is a shotgun.
Dollcroaker would just straight up go in there and start trying to rip people apart. Just instantly.
Okay, wait. Sorry, go on. Big Nanny. Go on, Void, please.
All right. As you begin to go in there, you just find the closest enemy and just start ripping them apart.
Yeah, well, I actually reckon she would like straight up just like she would find the closest person and just like whack them.
All right. If
Round
you want to
their
make an
side.
arm strike, then go for it.
Yeah. 17.
That'll hit. Yeah, you can find this like satyr who had just like stabbed someone with just like a spear. As they have their back to you, you can just slap them down. How much damage is that?
9.
9? They look pretty injured, actually.
9. And then could she do the bonus unarmed strike to somebody else? Like she would just be going like almost like waving her arms around, like just whacking people.
Alright, yeah, go for it. You can make it
Oh, 12?
12 is not going to quite hit, as another little pixie nearby is able to avoid you. As you guys would see that these enemies are almost forming a perimeter and pushing out from the central point in which they have arrived. And near the center is this human with a shotgun and this very whimsical looking candy lady. This candy woman, I'll actually say you guys could know, or I think at least some of you guys who are more knowledgeable about the people around here would know of, as Granny Gumdrop, who is, known for candy making, to be honest. That's her thing. Not really a murderer, as far as you're aware, but you can watch as she walks up this almost like toadstool staircase up to the center of this hollowed, gnarled mushroom. It's such an old mushroom in the center of town. There are mushrooms growing off of its withered form. As she's going to place her hand upon this black sphere placed within the hollow of this mushroom and lift it up and shout out to our people who are here.
All right, sweeties. We've got what we came for. Get out of here.
And
Yes,
there
I would
is a
scream,
fairy
"Wait!"
in the town. Oh, yeah, you can.
Okay. Yes, I would say the tribunal highly does not request you interacting with anything without a higher without a high order in place, and would cast command on Lady Gundrop to stop grabbing the orb.
Okay. Yeah, you can. I believe that's a wisdom save.
Yep.
All right. Let me take out my most whimsical dice. Unfortunately, wisdom is one of her best stats. That is a natural 20. That is really unfortunate. I've actually never gotten a nat 20 with that die before, so today's the day. As you watch, she looks at you dead in the eyes,
Kill that one.
and is going to walk down. You can see there is a fairy mage of some sort who puts their hands out, and you see that a ritual circle begin to materialize as these light-fay begin to retreat back towards this ritual circle. You can tell next turn they are going to teleport.
Can I cast Hold Person on the granny?
Yep, you can. What stat is that? That is wisdom, right?
Yeah, it's the wisdom.
Guys, I'm so sorry. That's a natural 19 plus. What's her plus? Plus 9. So that's a 28.
Huh?
Damn it.
As you can see, she does not seem to be affected much by things that make her do wisdom saves. Okay, this is with disadvantage since this is out of his normal range. The shotgun guy is going to shoot at Yasa. Let's hope this misses,
Yeah,
because this is just straight up a shotgun. And this
Lovely,
isn't a
lovely.
2d8 kind of D&D shotgun. No, this is a much more accurate
Wait,
one.
hold on. Can I do blessing of the Raven Queen?
Sure, you'll need it. What's your AC? Just wondering. For no particular reason.
13, but I have blessing of the Raven Queen and I can teleport up to 30 feet. So I'll teleport as soon as I hear the gunshot.
That I'll say you can use this for the resistance. Though it is still going to hit you even with disadvantage. Since her lower, or his, sorry, is the guy shooting, is going to be a 16 to hit.
Yeah, it hit.
As
Yeah,
that
it
is going
hits.
to deal a significant amount of damage. Just roll that real quick. Alright. So this is already halved, by the way. That is 39. Sorry, wait, no, 39 is unhalved. Sorry. 19 halved. You take 19 damage. As you feel this burn and boil as it hits your skin, this resistance giving you enough to survive this attack, but you can feel as you are weakened by this iron.
Well, first of all, I cast Hellish Rebuke.
Okay. That's a dex save on his part.
Yep, 16 DC.
Not pass. At all. He rolled so low.
Oh. Okay.
I'll just say you got a 4.
No violence in the court. As he does. Oh, that's so bad. 7 damage.
7 damage? Okay, yeah, you can see it like burns him and he kind of like recoils, confused at what just happened. And as he looks back at you guys, this ritual circle disappears in a burst of light, and the this kind of hole of light in the clouds above us, allowing this light through, just like slowly kind of widens as more open up. As now that this orb has been removed from the Shadevale, the light has begun to beam through these dark clouds that forever sit overhead. As this place is revealed to the light. And would one of you, any of you, I'll let one of you make a Arcana or History check, your choice, to determine what the effects of removing this orb might be.
I'm fine with whatever. I have +4 in both.
I think you're the best choice in Jynx.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what? Well, I did not hear you correctly. What did you say?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. I will do a Arcana check. 13.
13. I'll say with the very basic understanding of this, these orbs, the one of which was placed in this town, are to help keep the world in balance. Removing it from this place will take down the darkness that shrouds the place. But what is more worrying is why it would have been stolen. You don't know much about the actual workings of this with only a 13. But you know if this orb were destroyed, it would plunge the world into eternal brightness. Which is frankly as bad or worse than eternal darkness. Every plant would die and wither and cook, as there is no time for these plants to grow during the night, as they let off water during the night. any extra streams and stuff would burn off quicker, it would evaporate. It would be a significant issue if there was no nighttime. And it seems as if these light-fay have stolen it. Night will not fall until this orb is returned. If it's destroyed, it will never fall again. What do you guys want to do?
Well, Yasa, still starving, would just go back to the tribunal and hope to have a meeting with the Archfey.
As you go back down into this strange hollow, you would know that this Fey tribunal that governs over the laws of the Fey, they manifest as needed. They are not here at the moment, but if you would like, you can try and summon them. Though doing so outside of a specific case or issue that is being brought to their attention may be more difficult than just simply contacting them normally as you would.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well,
If you want to try and make an Arcana or religion, you can try and summon them to or contact them.
yeah, I will just try to contact them with, I guess, religion. 21.
21?
Yep.
You can see as this altar kind of illuminates these three almost masked. It almost seems like their faces are masks in some way that never change. They are completely neutral looking. All three of them have the exact same mask, and their features, being an archfey, something a lot more ethereal, almost seem like they are like woven from these like strange bone pieces, or almost like fungal pieces, as this kind of bluish energy flows between, underneath, through these limbs. These very spindly limbs with these dragonfly wings. As these three archfey manifest here. And in unison, you hear all three say,
Why have we been summoned?
Esteemed Archfey, established all as well. The learned scroll has just been stolen by the light-fay. Could we, perchance, bring them to the face of justice?
you can see the three Fae, almost like their energy seems to flow between them for a moment. You would know that this is how they almost commune with one another, as they, while they are three, they act as one. And after a moment, you hear the voice from all three again.
We will grant you our blessing to bring justice to these wrongdoers.
And they are going to cast a spell that begins to create this like tear in space in front of them, as something dark and shadowy begins to manifest, the very will of these beings becoming a physical object, as you are granted something of immense magical power, an arrest warrant, as they're going to give you a big leaf that says arrest Granny Gumdrop on it in Sylvan.
So I got an arrest warrant?
Yeah. And you see
Is
him
it on D&D
disappear.
Beyond?
No, it's not. I don't think that's an item on D&D Beyond. But yes, you receive an arrest warrant from three archfey.
Probably, I guess. Yes, I would just say, thank you, your royal highnesses, and your, not royal highnesses, what was it? Thank you, your esteemed archfays, as Yasa would grab the arrest warrant, put it in his binder, and grab his gavel from his backpack and say, I'll be off. I'll be off to serve them.
And you would see these three archfey begin to disapparate. And you hear them in unison one more time say, "May there be order in your court," as they disappear. As you emerge from here, I would assume, would the other two of you have come into town at this point? Like, I know actually Dollcroaker's in town properly now. Would Bryn also have fully entered town? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just see there's like chaos, pandemonium. It looks like most of the city guards are dead. Most people who would enforce the laws are gone. Or injured.
Bryn would probably like help anyone who's like slightly injured, like get up and on their feet and then like get somewhere safe.
Right, yeah, you can start helping people. There's a lot of injured people, a lot of dead as well. It's unusual that the light-fay do something like this. Usually they're like, oh, whimsical, dance around a maypole, sit on a mushroom kind of people. They aren't usually the teleport into a town, murder everyone, steal a religious artifact, and then disappear kind of people. And as you see, they have brought iron weapons, things that are banned by the Fae. I mean, they even had brought a human into their own ranks. This is a violation of many rules among the Fae. And this incursion, I mean, has pretty much revealed this entire city. Many of the plants and fungus that grow here will die in the sun. And many of these people are already getting sunburned. I mean, they are made for living underground, maybe popping up during the night to like steal things from a human's house or, frolic in the moonlight. They're not prepared for this.
Can Dollcroaker cast darkness from like the center of town? See if it will help anyone about.
Yeah, you can cast that darkness up into the air above town as it kind of veils this at least the town square a bit. And you can see people immediately like congregating under it. You can see people are under mushrooms already, just anywhere in the shade they can find, covering their eyes.
After she does that, she's gonna kind of like look around for the dead bodies and just kind of start like, maybe she'll grab like a couple and shove them on her back a little bit, try and fasten them for a little snack later, maybe.
Alright. Among the bodies, you can actually find another hag. You would have known this one's a green hag that just comes into town occasionally for like alchemy things, who has been unfortunately killed during this encounter. You'd know she's also a connoisseur of humans and devouring them in the woods. Also a quite pleasant person to talk to overall. As far as hags go, like definitely not for any normal person, but for a hag, of similar interests. And a couple, you'd see like a couple various like, even there's like a frog person that's dead here. A lot of people from all over in this kind of dark land. And
seeing the, upon seeing like the hag, she might just like give like a little bit of a groan, like of a, she's a bit sad that this other hag's dead. But it's the most grief she could muster, which is not a lot.
Yeah, so as you walk out of this hollow, you can see that there's not a lot of people left here who are fighting capable. A lot of these are little tricksters and other stuff like that. And knowing that you now have a warrant for the arrest of someone who is guarded by a human with a shotgun, and multiple other dangerous fae, as you kind of look around, scanning this place for anyone that could be of use, two people definitely catch your eye, and you can probably assume who those people are. A satyr and a hag, who seem like the most competent people who are currently around. This is definitely an emergency situation.
Well, Yasa would walk up, but quickly just wipe off his hands and put one of the gloves he has prepared and shakes hands with the old hag, and with the other shakes hands with the satyr he found. Good evening. My name is Yasa. I am the public defender of this town, and we recently, as you may have seen, we got attacked. I've got an arrest warrant for Lady Candy Bottom, or whatever her name was. You
I'm
two
gonna
seem
correct
like
you
the
to
most
call it
competent
anything.
here. Candy Bottom, thank you. You two seem like the most competent around here. Looking back at sock stealers, for example, don't want them in my party. Gives me the creeps. So, would you perchance want to join me in this quest to the light-fay kingdom?
You talk a lot.
And a persuasion.
You certainly can, but I will tell you, if you can't persuade your party members to go on the one-shot quest with you, then you will be playing this alone.
Oh, whatever. Plus 11. I'm gonna just say to the hag, ooh, you join me, kill light-fay. That's a 20.
You don't have to convince her. She was already on board. She was just saying that you
Oh.
talk a lot.
Oh. Well, Yasa would just use with the hand that has the glove up very well as pats her shoulder and says, We leave after I eat.
Oh, and she's gonna grab one of the bodies from the ground and like give it to him. Code it out. Food.
Yeah, so just look at it and I'm a public defender. You should not show me that body if you don't want to get sued.
Food for chatty.
Hags are allowed to eat people. Part of the law of the Fae.
Oh,
You're not.
well,
The hag is.
hag, thank you. I'd rather eat bugs.
Nannie.
Pleasure to meet you, Nannie. I am Yasa. Again, gives the glove hand to her and shakes it, I guess, if Nannie knows how to shake a hand.
She'll like just kind of like try not to dig her claws into your hand. Or
Yasa would just pull back after the shake and just slowly take the glove off and throw it in the nearest garbage pile around here and just say, Very well. Satyr, what about you?
I mean, I won't say no to like an adventure. And then Bryn's just gonna like whistle, and this little raccoon that's somewhere off looting a body is gonna stick its head up and run over and just sit down.
You know how raccoons have that like that thing where they like hold something shiny in their like front two hands and then kind of like do the little waddle on their back legs. You can see it's like got a coin and like waddles over and then like kind of like sets it down, kind of like fiddles with it a bit on the ground with its little paws. Just been stealing things from the dead.
Sorry.
No, go on. I don't have much important to say. I was just gonna push you guys onward if you have nothing else to say, but you feel free to keep going.
Yep. Bryn's just gonna pick up the coin, hat Coda, which is the raccoon's name, head, and then pocket the coin. And then turn back to Yasa and be like, when are we leaving then?
After I get myself some fried bugs on a stick.
You would see that the stand is currently just empty, and as you go approach it, you see just like a tip of something moving around behind there. As it is not actually empty, there's just a really short little like dark fairy who like climbs up onto the cart and is going to shake one of these little bug sticks at you.
Hey, you said you were going on a quest? Did I go get the orb back? You can just have this.
Archer interrupted. What did you just say at the end?
You can just have this.
Okay.
Who's gonna give you?
I just have it.
free.
Oh,
Yourself
thank you,
any free
kind fairy. Thank you,
Yeah, I
kind
mean, I didn't
fairy.
own this stand. I'm just saying you can have this. I found it.
Oh.
I think the stand owner's dead.
It gives me even more reason to arrest these people. We just grab the fried bug and eat it gently to not look starved even though he is as a dark elf. And just nibble on it on their way to the light-fay kingdom.
You guys would know that the main way out of town would be through a path to the south. Unfortunately, that's not where you need to go. As the place that Granny Gumdrop probably would have gone is much more to like the northwest. Which means you're going to have to take the rougher roads through the mountains. As you begin to hike up through here, you would be traveling for, maybe like half a day. Not really a lot of time to stop and rest. Who knows what they might be doing with that orb. Every second counts in retrieving this. As you try and cross through these smaller canyons and narrows, you eventually find as these kind of various funguses grow larger as you progress. These kind of larger mushrooms start to fill in, and eventually you find that the path that you need to follow has collapsed into a cave a very long time ago at this point, and these large mushrooms now stick up from the cavern. You can see there's a variety of mushrooms. It's kind of like pointy purple. I almost said purple, which is, I guess, a word to describe pointy and purple. You can see a big flat maroon type, some like black ones with holes that have smoke drifting out, a big plump red one with white spots. But all of these different mushrooms kind of grow up through these canyons. And it seems like to get across, you might be able to actually maneuver across the tops of these mushrooms.
Well, let's give it a go then. Let's
Okay,
go.
what mushroom you want to jump on? There's the pointy
Hold on,
purple one,
Archer.
the flat maroon one, the black one with the holes, and the plump red one.
She'll probably go for the purple one.
Yes, I
Okay.
would go for the plump red one.
Cool. As you leap to these mushrooms, without really thinking of what type these are, first of all, Nannie Dollcroaker, as you land on this mushroom, it like bends precariously under this Annis Hag's weight. And I need you to make a con save. as you feel this like slime on your hands, and it looks just wrong as like things start to change colors just a little bit.
That's a 12.
You're going to take 10 psychic damage as the pit below you begins to get deeper and deeper, and you hear just like giggling as like it sounds like the mushrooms are laughing at you.
Can she try and jump off this one and jump onto another one as this happens?
Do you want to risk that, or do you want to go back to where you started?
I feel like she would just continue going.
Okay. Yeah. Your options from here would be onto the big flat maroon one, or just another pointy purple one.
I think she would go for the maroon one.
Alright. As you leap to that, who was the other person who jumped and who went to the plump red one?
I went to the plump red one.
Alright. Dex save.
Lovely. 14.
14? That failed by 1. You land on this mushroom. It falls down underneath you as it like squishes as it quickly regains its shape, like the most elastic substance you've ever jumped onto, and is going to launch you. As you slam into the wall, taking 8 bludgeoning damage, and I need a dex save to try and grab a edge before you completely fall into the chasm.
Fine. 9.
Bryn, is there anything you'd like to do about this? Because you see Yasa get launched into the air, hit a wall, start plummeting into the abyss, and miss the grab on the edge. If you would like to try and reach out and lend a hand, you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It'll
do
just
that.
be hard. Okay, can I have a dex save as well?
A dex save. Oh. 18.
18?
Yeah.
That is actually the DC I'd set, because that is difficult to grab someone like that. You are able to grab onto Yasa's arm as Yasa swings and immediately impacts the wall underneath the ledge, and is going to take 2 more bludgeoning damage as you are able to get him in a position where he can crawl back up. Meanwhile, Nannie Dollcroaker, I need a dex save as well.
Okay. 17?
17? That's a pass. As you are able to jump from this one if you want. The issue is, as you touch this one, it smells of sulfur and is going to erupt in fire.
Uh-oh.
As you're going to take just 5 fire damage, because it's halved. And are you going to jump to something else?
Yeah, she wants to get across.
Okay, so you're just going to tank everything.
How is she get
Meanwhile,
across?
on the other side, what would you two like to do who are across on the other side? These are mushrooms that grow around here. If you'd like, you could try and make a check to figure out what you know about them. Because,
as
you know,
I look
maybe
to
it's some
the
kind of
satyr,
puzzle.
I look towards the satyr. You are the forger. Just in the court. Please do something about this.
Can I first look for mushrooms that doesn't involve jumping across them?
Are you sure you're looking for an alternate path across?
Yeah.
It seems as if there are ways along the walls that would be difficult to avoid touching any more mushroom stalks or caps along the way. This place is extremely overgrown.
Okay.
Yeah. At some point, you are likely to come in contact with it unless you roll very good.
Okay.
If you want, you can make a nature check.
Yeah. Okay. 20, not natural though.
20? Alright. Here's what you know. The Arkenshroom, the purple pointy one, with white splotches that kind of resembles a wizard hat, it has a hallucinatory slime. What in the world did I say? Hallucinatory slime. Supposedly cooking it correctly can help rejuvenate magical power. If doing it wrong, it's very dangerous because of the slimy skin. The Brimshroom, which is the flat maroon mushroom, erupts in fire when you touch it because it spread out of a hell portal a hag opened up many years ago. The Gravestalk, the black mushroom with various holes that's smoking, is extremely deadly to eat and grows in graveyards and tombs. Like, it'll kill you if you take a bite of that thing. And the final one, the rubber cap, is that plump red mushroom with white spots that bounces anyone who jumps onto it into the air. It is actually used as a way of traversal in some caverns nearby. Those are the 4 mushrooms that grow in this area.
You said the black one's deadly to eat, but is it deadly to touch? Like,
I will, with the information you have, that's all I can really say. It's just that what I've given you for 20.
okay. Can try jump on the red one, but like triangle so I can like get thrown across the cabin.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Dex save.
First, I'm gonna grab Coda in my arms.
So what I'll say for this is you need to pass the dex save, and then I need you to make a successful acrobatics check, and then I'll say you can get across with that.
Okay, that is 25 for dex save.
25? Okay, pass the dex save. Acrobatics.
Acrobat. 20.
20. You know what? That's the DC. You are able to bounce off of that one up onto one of the ones on the cliff, bounce off that one, and land successfully on the far side.
Okay.
Meanwhile, who I have not followed up with yet is Nannie Dollcroaker, who's jumping to another mushroom. You can pick. This time would be between I'll say any of them. Your pick. You can get to any of them from here.
She'll
Which
go
one's,
for
like,
the
your-
grey one then.
The gray one? Okay. As you jump
She
to
hasn't
that
seen
one,
the effect of that.
you can land on this mushroom cap, and it seems perfectly fine to sit on.
Nice.
Other than the smoke, which is just definitely like makes you cough a bit, which is unpleasant, but it's not necessarily like horrible.
Can she continue jumping then?
Yeah,
Across?
if you want, you can just try and stick to these grave stalks and make it the rest of the way across. And finally,
Yeah.
Yasa. I'm assuming I know what Yasa wants to do after seeing all this.
Yasa would like a heal, but I don't have any heal, so Yasa would just take a gulp and follow the route that Bryn took, if I'm not mistaken. Bryn was the
Okay,
name.
you can certainly try. DC 15 dex save.
Yep.
And if you pass that, you can try a DC 20
11.
acrobatics. Yeah, that's not going to be quite enough. I saw that in the Beyond 11.
I don't think that's enough at all.
As you land on this mushroom and are launched into the air, flailing as you go onto a large, flat maroon mushroom that I need you to make another dex save as you hit.
5.
As it erupts in fire, you take 10 more damage.
I'm down. Actually, no.
What?
I am down. No, wait. How much damage did I take from the first bludgeoning?
10 total from hitting the wall and then hitting the other wall. And then 10 more just
I'm
now.
down. I'm down.
Oh my god.
The other two of you can look back and see that about halfway across this mushroom chasm, you see a charred-looking dark elf just laying there on one of these mushrooms as the fire kind of sputters out.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you go, Lumi.
Okay. Bryn's gonna put down the raccoon, turn to Nannie Dollcroaker, and say like, "Don't eat them." I'm gonna run back and try like get to Yasa.
Would you be just going along the grave cat or grave stalks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfectly safe to just jump across these.
Okay.
As you can see that Yasa is currently laying on a mushroom that if you were to jump on it, it would light on fire again. What would you like to do about that situation?
You know what, I'm just gonna jump on it, and then grab Yasa and cast Cure Wounds
Alright.
at first level.
Can you make me a dex save to do this fast enough? I'm gonna say with disadvantage, because you are casting a spell while doing this save. DC's
Okay.
15.
It's a 26, and then
26? Okay, 5
19.
damage. Yeah, so as this fire erupts around you again, you technically fail a death save, but then get healed, so it doesn't matter. I'm assuming you two jump to the closest safe mushroom, unless you want to stay on the fire mushroom, which be my guess.
No. I want to jump to the safest one.
All right, good choice. You can leap across over to these grave stalks and begin to make your way through this canyon once again. As you continue along, this takes you the rest of the day, and I'm assuming you guys aren't sleeping tonight. If you want to go fast, you can sleep if you want, though it may hurt your chances of getting there in time.
Nah.
Nah.
If the other two want to sleep, Nannie can carry them.
All right.
I would love to sleep here.
So this
Do
is
you want Nannie to carry? Do you want Nannie to carry Yasa while you sleep?
He's already asleep. You can log Yasa can get a long rest then, as everyone else travels. I'm not gonna make you guys get an exhaustion point yet, because you haven't been going for even a full day yet. But as you continue through these woods, you would find that it becomes lighter. Kind of the mushrooms give way to these pine trees, and it seems like a lot more pleasant of a place for most people. For you guys, it's like, why is it so bright here? This is like weird. But you would see this beautiful little bridge, just like a small wood and stone bridge crossing over a babbling stream. And as you begin to approach, you hear clawing. As, this bridge is only like maybe 5 feet long, to be honest. It's not a big river. And there you can see just a green arm extend from underneath the bridge as a troll begins to emerge.
Ah, you seek to cross my bridge.
At this point,
10
though, Yasa, you could be awake by now. This would be in the morning again. The sun will just be coming up over the trees here.
Nannie just like swing her, like backhand him.
You can just backhand the troll.
I just like swipe him away.
Okay, yeah, make a roll to hit.
Natural 19.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how much damage is that?
Oh, that's max damage. That's 13 damage.
You bring your hand out, backhand this troll. He staggers back. Hey, what the? He's like, he's got like a nosebleed now. Like, hey.
Move, stupid. Move out the way.
No, to cross my bridge, you have to answer my riddles 3.
No, move. Just gonna try and keep like pushing him.
Someone call the cops. Someone is trying to cross my bridge.
Can I just cast Vicious
Whoa.
Mockery
just
on
make
this guy?
I guess Dollcroaker, make a athletics check to just push past this guy.
And can I cast? Oh, can I cast
Oh,
a
isn't that
vicious?
one?
Can I cast Vicious Mockery on this guy?
You can, though I will remind you, your patron, is the people who enforce the laws of the Fae, and trolls have jurisdiction to ask riddles over bridges.
They do?
Of course they do. It's like their thing. I mean, they're not even Fae
Fine.
technically. They're actually technically giants, but they have permissions under the tribunal.
Yeah, so what I guess just go to Nannie and say, it's not worth it, let's just answer his fucking riddles.
As Nannie, you try and push past with a natural 1 that I just saw pop up. The troll, just like, just kicks your leg really hard as you pass by, and you just fall face first on the ground.
No, stop it.
Oh, and she's just gonna like try and like
To
just
answer
slowly
my
get
riddles
herself up.
3.
Fine.
My
don't
first
have all day.
riddle. What is both blue and green?
That's all riddle. You can answer now.
What?
You got cotton in your ears? What is both blue and green? It's not that hard.
Question. Does your jurisdiction allow any type of answer that's also blue and green?
Sorry, what?
Can I say anything that's blue and green?
I'm not gonna tell you the answer. You can't just like you can't just ask me more questions. That's not how a riddle works.
Oh, but wouldn't you give me the answer?
I'll give it to you if you
As
get it
I
right.
am a public defender.
No,
if I'm a public-
I don't have to give a lawyer the answer to my question. That's not how riddles work. I think you have a fundamental misunderstanding of riddles.
Is it fabric? Like that can be like dyed different colors.
The sky.
I would just go back to my party and say,
You say the sky?
guys, technically,
Is the sky green?
why would it be the sky? Why would it be the sky?
Is that?
He just looks confused. Is that your final answer?
No.
No.
Say it again. What
Hurry
is
up.
both blue and green?
You.
No, I'm just green. Is that your
Oh.
sorry? Wait, is that your final answer?
No. No.
I'm genuinely confused by this riddle.
Okay, let me break it down for you. So the answer for the riddle is going to be something that fits both of the criteria of the riddle. Something that is both blue and something that is also green.
And he's gonna point to Bryn. Yeah. No?
No, I've got green clothes. I don't think I'm blue.
She's gonna...
Guys, wouldn't the flower technically work? Because the stem is green and let's say
Okay, you know what? Why don't we
A
move on to a different
bluebell.
one? I think this might be a little like above your capabilities. The answer was teal. I would have also accepted seafoam, turquoise, or cyan.
That's a color, not a thing.
It's both blue and green.
Exactly. You said the thing.
I said, what is both blue and green? The answer's teal.
I suck at this.
Next question. What is green and hops around?
Oh, oh, oh,
A grasshopper.
no. No, and she's gonna point, what was his name? The raccoon. She's gonna point at him. That.
Green.
It just, the troll looks at the raccoon you're pointing at, which is gray and black, and look back at you. Is that your final answer?
No,
Yeah.
Mr. Bridge Troll.
Oh.
Grasshoppers.
Not quite. It's not a raccoon. Okay, you'll have one more. By the way, the answer was a goblin on fire, or struck by lightning. I would have accepted struck by lightning as well.
I said a frog.
Final
Does that
answer.
count?
Our final question. This is your final chance. What looks like a goblin and is incredibly ugly?
You.
A gob-
That's rude and uncalled for. But is that your final answer?
No.
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 What's your answer then?
Troll.
Do you agree? Like, are you gonna let this slide? You other two? Three? I actually don't know if the raccoon's sentient. What looks like a goblin and is incredibly ugly.
A goblin.
You did it! You passed the riddle. And he's gonna slip back into the river and go back under the bridge.
Oh, that was easy.
You are now
Let's
permitted
go.
by Fey law to use this bridge. I mean, you could have just, like, waded through the stream. That's, like, 5 feet wide. But, you know, the bridge is nice. You can keep your feet dry.
I think that's important.
As you guys can cross over the bridge. That's probably the most just... I feel like that was it's meant to be a little easier. You guys did it. You guys beat the hardest challenge.
Yeah.
And from here you can begin to see down into the foothills. And out over this forest where you know the light-fay dwell. And with that, we will see you all in a future episode. If you're
Oh,
here from
cock.
Fey Week, then go check out our main campaign. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I think if you did, you'll probably enjoy that as well. It's a little bit darker tone, but still quite good. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'll see you in a future episode, in the second half of this little one-shot. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.